Please wipe off boots/shoes, really good. If dirty, please leave boots/shoes outside. Thank you. I have new. Okay, okay, that sign's been up for months. All right. Flip-flops on. Rusty old knife, check. Cotton swabs, check. Cotton balls, check. Dirty reels, check. And a clean workbench. Oh, what is this over here? What is this? All right. First look, it's durable. It's cardboard. It's long. It's probably 8-9 feet long. I don't even know, but it says it's from Dobyns. Okay, we'll go with that. Dobyns Rods. Okay, all right. So next stop is, oh my God. All right, next we need to somehow get into this sucker and investigate everything that's in here, as if I don't know what's already in here. Okay. Alrighty, welcome back to another episode. How's it going, guys? My name is Sam Sobey. If you're new to the channel, I guess, yeah, my name's Sam Sobey. I love fishing, I love hunting, I love the outdoors, I love camping, I love anything to do with getting the heck outside and, yeah, leaving the indoors. So, today, which is kind of weird and kind of totally against my brand maybe, I'm gonna be all indoors, yeah. So I'm gonna be unboxing this, showing you kind of everything I need and that I'm excited about that I just ordered for springtime fishing and just kind of the rest of summer. Along with that, I'm gonna be teaching you a little bit about how to clean reels, because like with spring and summer coming up, you're probably all dusting off your reels from last year. Like, I've been using my reels for a long time, but I'm still dusting them off because they're just full of crap, full of dirt, full of mud, and yeah, we're gonna be cleaning them today. So, I'm not an expert on reel cleaning, but I'll at least show you what I do, I'll bring you along with, and I'll tell you exactly what, I guess, gets the dirt out of my reels, and hopefully maybe it helps. I don't know. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, maybe some recommended videos below, but at least I'll tell you what I know, and okay, well, let's just on with the video. So earlier today, I received a giant tube from a company called Dobyns Rods. And yeah, I'm gonna open this sucker up. There's a bunch of goodies in here, and if you know or don't know, there's like a billion rods out there, and there's a billion different lengths and actions and purposes for them, and it's like, how do you go about buying a rod for a certain technique or something you want to do? Like, if you want to go frogging, how do you potentially go on Tackle Warehouse and narrow down your options to like, all right, that's the rod I want for frogging, that's the rod I want for just throwing Cincos out there, that's the rod I want for just like throwing swim jigs, that's the rod I want for throwing a big jig and dragging it on the bottom. Like, it's tough, you know what I mean? It's tough. Like, I've been on Tackle Warehouse and places like that for hours just going like, what do I do? Hopefully I can kind of clear the air from that. If you have any questions, or just like, I guess I can show you guys what I ordered and what I plan on doing with these rods. So let's open this sucker up, let's get into it, and yeah, strap in, stay tuned. Alrighty. Initial thoughts is, I'm filming. Searchlight, Nevada. Hello? Hello? Sick, okay. Let's call him back. Telemarketers. Telemarketers, 150%.
The person at extension 12 is on the phone.
Please check the number or code and try again.
Right on, thank you. All right, back to the video. So, initial look at this giant tube of cardboard is, it is packed like super well. I don't know, I need tools. Just getting into this sucker is a bit of a bear, but that's good. Good packing when you order rods is like 50% of it, because if your rods show up and the tips are broken or like anything's damaged on it, it's like, okay, sick. Like, I ordered the rod, I made the decision, I spent all that money, and then when it finally gets here, it's just done. So Good packing of rods is like huge when you look at a company. Alrighty, let's go for it. Okay. Next look I'm gonna show you guys is the internal packaging, which basically it's like, is every rod covered up from a plastic sleeve? Yes, 100%. Is there bubble wrap? Is there tape? Is there packaging protecting the butts of the rods? And is there packaging protecting the tips of the rods? Absolutely. So, next step for me is I need to grab an X-Acto blade. I need to cut into here. I'm gonna open up each rod kind of individually and just very briefly tell you why I ordered and picked that rod and what I'm gonna do with it, my plans. I'm so freaking pumped because this weekend is Minnesota Bass Opener. And it seems like I've been traveling to Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Wisconsin, like from here to Timbuktu just to go bass fishing. And finally, it's gonna be open this weekend. So I'm gonna go out, crush some local fish around me, and I've got a whole new setup, a whole new arsenal that I'm gonna be playing with here. So I'm gonna grab an X-Acto blade and let's get into it. So after about 3.5 minutes of looking, I found a broken, rusty X-Acto blade, and then I think a old, rusty tire cutter. Don't ask me about my tool situation. I know that's just don't ask me. Bingo. Alrighty, packing peanuts. See ya, goodbye. Smell you later. What do we have here? What do we have? This is a Fury 795 SB. Oh my goodness. This is what I've needed. I have needed this rod so bad. This is a Fury series rod. This rod like retails for like $119, but I've been throwing all spring these giant swim baits, and I've been throwing them on like a 7.6 flipping rod, and I've just been like, hucking them out there. I've been lobbing them out there because I've been using like an incorrect rod for it. So stop chucking around giant swim baits, giant A-rigs, using just freaking light rods. Grab a big old whooping stick, like a 7'9" with 5 power in the Fury series, and yeah, start chucking away. So, alrighty, what do we have here? Alrighty, this next rod here is a Dobyns Champion XP. This is a 735. This is like a chatterbait wizard rod. Chatterbait, spinnerbaits, crankbaits. It's 7'3" and 5 power. This is a super buttery rod. This is a more high-end rod. This is gonna be more expensive, but I promise you, if you love throwing spinnerbaits or love throwing chatterbaits, this will be well worth it. I get the full handle cork. That's just because that's my personal preference. And yeah, next rod. This next rod, I'm potentially the most excited about. This is a Dobyns Champion Extreme 736C FH. And this is just like a totally bad to the bone frogging rod. If you guys like throwing frogs out there on bait casters, this is like the ticket. This is a more high-end rod. This is an expensive rod, but like, this is the freaking tool for the job. Never in my whole entire life. If you were talking to Sam Sobey, who was 13 years old, he would be like,
I don't know, man. Like, I just throw a frog on like anything, man. But I would love a good rod to throw a frog on.
That's exactly what I have here today. Finally, I've got an awesome quality, high-powered rod that I can throw frogs on. I love throwing frogs, whether it be around docks, weeds, pencil reeds, pads. Like, throwing a freaking frog is a blast, and I finally have a quality rod for it. So I'm freaking excited. Next on the list, next rod. This rod right here, I am so freaking excited to have back in my hands. I used to own 3 of these rods. To have this exact rod back in my hand, I'm extremely grateful and excited. This is 702 Sierra Series. The Sierra Series, in my mind, is the best bang for your buck. This is such a freaking bad to the bone rod. If you like throwing Ned rigs, finesse rigs, shaky heads, drop shots, like, this is the freaking rod, boys. 702 SF. It's just a one-piece 7-foot rod, and the tip on this thing, I don't even really know if it does justice right here on camera, but this is just, it's butter. If you guys go out and get a 702 Sierra series for drop shotting and you don't like it, send me a message. I will instantly shoot back and I'll talk with you. And I'd like to know like where in the world your head went wrong, because this is the freaking butteriest of butter drop shot rods for the price point. Next rod. Muy bueno. This is a 766 flip. This is a bad to the bone flipping rod. If you like throwing a big jig, a big Texas rig, you flip around reeds, flip around rocks, flip around docks, this is the deal. So 766 Sierra, muy bueno. Alrighty, this is a pretty specific rod. If you do this technique, sweet, check this rod out. If you don't, no big deal. This is a Dobyns Champion Extreme 805 Randy McBee Signature Series. This is a crankbait rod. This is a super long parabolic rod. This is a graphite rod, and this sucker just hucks baits. This is a more high-end rod. It's built super nice. It's got an amazing tip, amazing action. This is a super parabolic rod. What I mean by that is it's super kind of bendy, yet holds an action, if that makes any sense. So it's an 8-foot rod. So if you're throwing big crankbaits and you want to get more distance on it and still have like the tip and the feel, this is the rod I'd choose. So this is the Fury 703 SF. This is what I use for throwing that jig worm. It's what I use for skipping a lot of like Cincos, and I feel like this has the length, the action for me to skip way underneath there and still just joink them on out. So this is a really economical rod and a really, really quality rod. 703 Fury Series SF. Hey, are you bored? Don't be bored. We're about to be done with this. Don't be bored. Listen up, last rod. If this is the only thing you guys get out of this whole video, is I want you to listen to this rod right here. I'm sure many of you throw jigs, chatterbaits, skip docks with jigs, just throw light jigs into ponds. Like if you love throwing jigs around light structure, like light jigs, I'm talking like 3/8 ounce. Like you're just throwing a little bass jig right underneath the dock. This is my rod of choice, 100%. I used to have this rod. All right, listen up right here. Listen up, this is important. 704 Sierra Series. This is for skipping light jigs underneath docks. I'm convinced this is the best dock skipping rod you can buy for the money. I love this rod. I wish I had 10 of these rods. If I had $1 billion in my bank account right now, I would buy 10 of these rods just so that I could have a different colored jig that I'm ready to skip docks with, like at my fingertips. So if I could order a bunch more rods, it would be this one right here. Alrighty, that was a bunch of rods. I'm super excited about it. I'm gonna talk to you more about these rods like when I'm out fishing, like using them. Enough about the rods. I'm gonna transition now to something I've just been putting off. Like I've been not proactive with this at all. I haven't wanted to do this. I need to do this. I'm sure you guys have noticed in the videos, like I take a cast and every time I cast, it's like, yeah. Let's get into cleaning reels now. I don't know if you guys can see here, but I've got like a bunch of reels. Oh gosh. I've got a bunch of reels that I've had for 4 or 5 years now. Some of them new, some of them old, but 100% all of them are dirty, gunky, gross, like not ready to be used at their full potential. So today I'm gonna go through and clean them all, but I'm gonna show you how I clean them. I'm gonna use this one probably as an example. This is like a Lose Super Duty. This reel's like 4 or 5 years old. I've had it for a long time and I've just beat the living crap out of this reel. So I'm gonna show you how I clean it. Every time I cast this reel, it sounds like a lawnmower driving through like a woods. It's just gross and bad. So I'm gonna get in here, I'm gonna clean this reel. This is a good habit to practice. I don't do this enough. I should do this every spring, but what you need to really clean your reels is basically like some paper towels, which I have somewhere around here, some cotton swabs, and basically Q-tips. Q-tips are the deal. Q-tips, Q-tips, Q-tips. And then also, I borrowed this from my buddy earlier today because I can't find mine, is just some oil and some grease. You can get these offline. Go to Tackle Warehouse, go to like Outdoor Pro Shop, type in like real oil, type in real butter, type in reel grease, like just type in any of that. It's pretty cheap. Just order it, buy it. It's gonna help you, like, it's just gonna help you. So once you've got all that stuff, you can really sit down and open up your reels and kind of get into the nitty gritty. First off, I wanna show you, I don't know if you guys can really see this. Inside there is something called like the worm gear. And that's what usually gets gunked up and breaks right away. So I take a Q-tip and I just go inside there in the worm gear and I just massage it, spin the reel a little bit, massage it, spin the reel a little bit, massage it. That just gets full of like black gunk, weeds, dried weeds, a bunch of different crap. I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but it's basically all black. So I'm gonna do a little better job. So once you've just kind of like taken little spins and rubbed your worm gear a ton, you're basically done with that for now until we put oil on it later. Next, I like to open up my reel, and by doing that, I just take this little screw off here. Each reel is a little different, but for the lose, you basically just take your screw off, like so. It pops that out, and then you can pop off the side plate. Oh, this thing is so gunked up. Yeah, so basically you just shift it and your side plate pops off like so. So I'm gonna set the side plate down for now. I'm going to take my spool that's got all my line on it and take it apart. So now my reel is basically, for the most part, like it's in 3 different pieces. It's apart. I'm gonna take just a Q-tip, a fresh one, might I add, and I'm gonna go around every part of this right here. Right around here, right around here. I just wanna clean any of the sludge out that would cause any sort of friction. And this is just gonna help your cast. I wanna clean kind of the whole little axle part. Boom, boom, boom. Inside here, I don't know if you guys can see, it is just gunky, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna take my Q-tip and go inside here, and I wanna get all that gunk out. It's just gross. Anything that would create friction right in here, right where that reel spins, where the actual like spool's holding the line, get all that gunk out. I'm gonna do a really quick, better job. Alrighty, so after I've kind of gone around each of these edges, I go in here right into the middle where that gear is, and I spin that around a lot. That's a super important part. There's a bunch of gunk, sometimes old weeds and just mud that gets lodged into there, and then if it does get lodged into there, it just corrodes and it just never comes out. So putting it right in the middle there and spinning it around, that's the ticket right there. Boom. Alrighty, so I put my like full reel body down, and next I'm gonna grab the side plate. These are a bunch of different ball bearings right here. This has 5 ball bearings. I'm gonna go along in here and just scrub it up dub. Alrighty, once you've like gone through 20 Q-tips and you're pretty sure this reel is pretty clear from all the gunk and the dirt, you just take like either your standard oil that you can probably buy at like a hardware shop, or like some precision oil that you buy from like Tackle Warehouse, and you oil a few different spots. Right away on the inside of this body, I'm gonna oil that gear right in there. So I'm gonna just dabble a little right in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil right around here. It's for when you take a cast for your reel to make a full revolution. You want that to spin well. On that worm gear that we cleaned right away, I put a little bit of oil on that. Not too much, like you really don't need much. Like this stuff is incredible. Okay. Right here by the ball bearings and on the inside here, I put a little bit of oil on the ball bearings and a little bit of oil right here on this gear. So, boom. I'm probably not filming this at really a correct angle, but you guys get the picture. Sometimes I'll take a Q-tip too and like rub that around in there so it's evenly spread out. That doesn't matter. If you fish with it, like it's gonna evenly spread itself out. On this axle right here, I put a little bit of oil. That's gonna help a lot. And then on the inside of here, I'll sometimes put just a little bit of oil and I'll spread that around evenly. Just basically use your eyes, and like every reel is different, like I said, look inside there, look where anything would rub up, where are the moving parts, where are the gears, where are the ball bearings, and just put oil on it because you want there to be the least amount of friction as possible when you're making your cast and when you're reeling in. So a very important part now is I'm gonna take the grease, which here's like the precision grease. And I only really grease one spot, and that's this like gear right up here. If you guys can see that or not. I put just like a little dab right on there, and that's it. Just put a dab right on that gear right there. And that's it. That's all I use for the grease. I mainly just oil it, and then just a little bit of grease. So, once you've done that, put your spool back into here. A lot of people will sometimes tape their spool or take a bunch of line off their spool just so that it's like less to get caught when you really put it back together. Put your spool right back in through there. Put your side plate on. Snap it into place, and then on the loose reels, just have to screw this back down right here. Get that grease ripping and moving. And that should be good. As you kind of fish through that, you're definitely gonna feel a difference. Yeah, that's basically it. There's a bunch of different videos out there online where they go more in depth, like into your gear casing, and they oil it, and they take the side plate off and put like Boca bearings in, and they get like this many more feet per cast. I keep it pretty simple. It's basically just a Q-tip, a bunch of Q-tips, some oil, and some grease. Huge shout out to my buddy Adam for letting me borrow your oil and grease since I supposedly lost mine. I can't find it. But yeah, I'm gonna clean the rest of my reels. I really, really highly recommend cleaning your reels because it's just gonna support the longevity of them. You're gonna get more years out of them. It's more bang for your buck. And taking care of your gear in general is just like, it's a good habit to have in the spring. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm super pumped about the Dobyns rods. If you've never checked out Dobyns rod, if you've never tried them, I'll leave them in the link description below. But just check them out. Check them out, like, check their price point out, check their actions, check their lengths. See if there's one that maybe fits your style or fits something that you don't have, and order it, try it. Because as soon as you get one of these puppies in your hand, like, I promise you, it's like no turning back. I think when I was 15 or 16, my buddy Adam and I ran into a couple of guys like at a high school tournament, a national high school tournament, and they had Dobyns rods. And at the time we had like Ugly Sticks, Shakespeare's, like just very, very low end, just crappy rods you find at Walmart. And I felt this rod and I was like, holy smokes, like this is what's out there. Like I've never heard of this. I've never seen this. So buy one of these rods, check it out, feel it. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, no big deal. But yeah, so clean your reels, check out Dobyns rods, and thank you guys so much for watching another video. I really, really appreciate it. So this weekend, I've got a bunch of stuff planned. I don't want to spill the beans totally, but we're going to be catching some giant smallmouth in pretty unique ways, giant largemouth. Everything's kind of popping off here in the Midwest. So I hope you guys are having an awesome spring. I'm having an awesome spring. We're just kind of tapping into spring as we move forward into summer, and I'm just excited. I'm totally excited for bass fishing. I'm cleaning all my stuff up. I'm getting ready. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode. I truly, truly appreciate it. I guess there's nothing left to be said, then stay tuned. And as always, yeah, see ya.